While the priest was reading the marriage vows, the groom Jangok paid no attention and was instead busy talking on the phone. Jangok is a very scary mafia king and he might be handsome but his character is wild. The bright wine was holding back her tears, trembling inside, as she too felt fear about marrying him. It was a forced marriage for her. "No, Mom, I can't marry him." She spoke fearfully, as if her life depended on it. But her mom, sighing and looking at her daughter with an expressionless face, said something. "Why are you denying him again, Voyan? He is just a mafia man and that doesn't mean he will eat you. Okay? You have to marry him, Voyan. Otherwise our family will end up on the streets. If you don't want our family to suffer, then marry him. Don't say anything more." Saying this, she left, but Voyan was squeezing her hands, trying to hold back her tears. Before she spoke, she looked back over her shoulder and saw her mom, who was gesturing to her. Then she fixed her gaze at the floor, taking a deep sigh. Time skip. "Ma'am, this is your room. Please call me if you need anything." "I need to freshen up. Can you tell me where my luggage is?" "Your luggage was already put there." She pointed at the luggage beside the bed. "Thanks." The maid was slightly surprised by how kind Voyan was, as no one in the mansion had said thanks to the maids, and they are rude to their staff. "You're welcome, ma'am." Saying this, she left. 2 hours later, the door to the room opened from the outside with a spare key, even though she had locked it before going to sleep. The one who stepped in with his long legs was Jangok. His eyes roamed around his room in the dim moonlight and found her sleeping peacefully on his bed, her back against the soft mattress. He tilted his head at her, squinting his eyes as he scanned every inch of her body from head to toe. He was slightly drunk, not heavily. As he took steps towards her, his hand raised, but before it touched her, he stopped midway, when a thought popped into his mind. Then, without making any noise, he climbed over her, kneeling beside her with both thighs outstretched. He leaned closer to her face, but stopped when he saw how beautiful and pure her innocent aura-filled face was, even though she was sleeping. How could she look this stunning even while asleep? He didn't like how peacefully she slept, as if nothing bothered her. Although his body wasn't touching her skirt, she sensed his presence. When she opened her eyes, she got scared seeing him staring into her soul so intensely that she screamed in fear. "Be quiet," he whispered. As he placed his palm on her lips, she shut her mouth in tension. He removed his hand from her, but didn't move away from her even an inch. "Did I scare you?" Her tongue wasn't responding to say even that much. She managed to nod as her eyes looked at him fearfully. "I want words, not your dumb gestures." "Yes." "Is that what you call scared, even though I haven't done anything yet?" She furrowed her eyebrows, unsure of his meaning. But her eyes widened when he took out his gun and showed it to her, increasing her fear. As he slowly pointed the gun at her face, she began sweating in fear. "What are you doing?" He directly put the gun inside her mouth, giving her the feeling that her last seconds were approaching. Seeing her fear, he smiled. "Are you scared that I would kill you easily?" "There is time for that. For now, enjoy some shivers from your devil husband, baby." She was speechless, wondering why he was so much against her. When he was the one who married her forcefully, now even though she had become his wife, he was still against her. Don't look at me with such innocence. You girls are all the same when it comes to our man. Every day I'll make you sure you feel like in hell. I swear. Okay, baby? He said the last sentence as if he were making offers and expecting her to nod in agreement since she was shivering under his control. She couldn't respond to him when he asked her to. Don't you know what you should say to your husband when he talks to you? He pushed the gun more deeply into her, making her panic even more. Her eyes swelled up with tears. Then he paused for a moment, got off from her, and was about to going out of the room. Not even looking at her face again. Is it because he couldn't dare to see her tears, or because he couldn't bear to seeing her tears? I sat up straight, wiping my wet eyes, then hugged myself. Even after he left, I could still hear my heart not beating normally. What's wrong with him? Why is he talking like I did something wrong? Next day, Jangok repeatedly punches the punching bag with intense, extreme force, as if venting his anger through each powerful blow. His wet hair and glistening skin reflect the sweat from his efforts, heating the toned muscles on his arms and back. His shirt clings to his skin, indicating the intensity of his dangerous punching. The doors opened from the outside by two guards. Jangok didn't stop punching but glanced at the doorway, where he saw his father with a cold face and his friend coming in with a cold expression. His father cleared his throat to get Jangok's attention, but Jangok still wasn't paying attention. His father then glared at Tay, so Tay called out to Jangok. Jangok didn't respond to his friend while he was punching the bag intensely. Jangok, our containers have been sealed by David since morning, but you are still here doing nothing to find him and kill him. We need to show how powerful our John Mafia is if anyone dares to lay their eyes on our properties. Jangok is ignoring his father strongly. Jangok, speak up. Your father is getting worried about them. Then Jangok spoke. I know Tay. Since the beginning, he only shows his worry for his properties instead of his family members. He said unknowingly, then Tay pressed his lips together under Jangok's glare. Whatever you say, Jangok. But if we can't punish him, our Mafia reputation will be damaged. I won't let that happen. It will never happen. What do you mean? Tay and Jangok's father co-founded by how confidently Jangok was speaking. If I choose a talker, then no one can stop it from being disturbed by my hands of hell. He punched the punching bag so strongly that it tore apart, then everyone was terrified. When the dead body of David fell from the bag, his body was covered in blood in a dangerous condition, like a jammed paste. Jangok's father couldn't bear to see the dead body condition and looked back at Jangok in disbelief. How could you catch him so quickly? I thought we couldn't catch him that easily. You see it right, and you can leave now. Okay, but I'm proud of you. Since you took responsibilities as a Mafia king, you are always impressing us with why you become Mafia, why you are the only one who can rule this Mafia world. He said and left, but they were still there. What? I heard you got married to Warren. Then Jangok shut his eyes, trying to ignore Tay's question, but Tay questioned him again and again, making Jangok look at him with his dark eyes. Jangok, are you even serious? How could you marry her even though you know about her past? Did you forget what she had done? Do you think I married her because of her beauty or body? A silence settled between them. Then why did you choose her as your wife? To make her life pathetic, she has to pay for every sin she committed. Saying this, he left, throwing his boxing gloves. Time skips to after dinner. Ryan didn't see Jangok after last night, but even when he wasn't there, she wasn't feeling calm. Her mind was always questioning what, why, and how she could face him when he would come. Wine is feeling nervous. Then she sees a maid coming in, juice in her hands and hands to wine. What are you thinking, ma'am? Where is your son? He hasn't even shown up since last night. He went to his father's home for a work purpose. He told us and the girls to stay alert until he comes back. I was surprised when I heard Jangok has a father too. But why didn't his father attend the wedding? Didn't Jangok tell him about the wedding? Or does his father not like this marriage? Why is he living separately when his father remained silent but with tension hesitated and smiled? I also don't know about that properly. I need to go, ma'am. Please have a peaceful sleep. Good night. Why is she suddenly getting tense? While she was leaving, I stared at her. There is something scary that matters, which is why she didn't say anything and left quickly. Jangok was drinking alcohol so seriously his eyes red, recalling someone's face. It had been 2 hours since he came back to the mansion, but he didn't even go to wine. He was suffering inside, drinking too much in a worse condition. Even his girls are getting panicked seeing their devil boss. Why was he drinking and looking so angry? Like he would burn the whole world with his anger, no matter how much he was drinking. His anger and voice in his heart wanted decreasing, not even by one chance. Then he smashed an alcohol bottle to the ground and screamed angrily, as if he was dying with this double emotional state. All are happy except me. All are even sleeping peacefully at this time except me. Why? Why did this only myself have to suffer alone? I also hurt her for causing my reasons. Saying this, he wiped his lips and went to the direction of the bedroom from the bar where she was sleeping. Wine was in deep sleep, but she heard someone knocking on the bedroom door. At first, she didn't pay it any mind, but when the knocking turned into a dangerous banging, she shook the keys at the door and ran to open it. When she opened the door, she was shocked to see her husband gazing at her angrily, with wet messy hair and a flickering cigarette between his lips. The top buttons of his shirt were all open. He was looking at her as if she were the reason for his condition like this. His gaze slid from her eyes down to her chest area, and she couldn't help but notice. His eyes remained fixed there, causing her to adjust her scarf for a second. He was staring at me from top to bottom while smoking. I could smell the alcohol on him, even though there was a distance between us. But when he staring at my chest, I noticed he was smoked with bad intentions. I pulled my scarf down to interrupt his gaze on my chest and spoke just to divert his focus from me. Do you need some water? Even though she asked him, he didn't change his gaze from where he was already looking. While he was biting his lower lip, his eyes hunting hers. Remove the scarf. What? She asked him again, thinking she might have heard him mistakenly. But Jangok doesn't like to repeat himself. I said, remove this scarf from your body. He gritted his teeth, pulled the scarf from her, causing her to slightly scratch her skin and cut the layer of her skin. She hissed in pain as he threw the piece of scarf on the bed and glanced at her, pulling her by her waist, causing her to bump into him.